Alrighty, let's do this. Free Flow Mondays. Today we will be talking about what I like to call the importance of the 4 selfies: self-love, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, and self-awareness. This is not something that I planned. This is something that I feel guided to deliver right now. Yay, I'm here. Finally, I tried earlier, but it lost connection, so I had to start all over. Yay, Eve is here. And today I want to start off by listening to the Katie Lang version of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. Her version is absolutely electrifying.
Leonard Cohen, Kanadas största låtskrivare.
I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but he don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah.
And while this song goes on, I am going to ground my energy and focus on channeling this message that I am meant to give you guys. And I'm going to light my lovely candle.
Your faith is strong, but you need it grip. You saw her bathing on her beauty, and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throat and cut your hair. From your lips she drew hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So to be honest, I meant to take notes for this. I didn't. I didn't because the words would not come to me in paper form. So I'm hoping that they come to me verbally through this divine guidance.
Then I saw your flag on the monarch.
This is very much so for me a thrown together thing that I felt guided to do, so hopefully the guidance comes through for me. Otherwise I'm just gonna be like, well, how's the weather where you are? So, right now I have to do a little bit of stress releasing. And I'm going to use my obsidian on my root chakra here to do a little bit of grounding because I'm kind of feeling a little bit jittery. A little bit underprepared. I feel a message coming through though, so let me see if I can focus on this. ask today that everybody's spirit team who watches this either live or on the replay is present here for me. And I set the intention that I deliver just the right message in just the right way for those who see this. You're hilarious, Eve. No bugs here, that's for sure. So, how I wanted to start this was by mentioning that, of course, we've all heard that self-love, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, yada 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 is really important. We've all heard this part, so I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this route. I am going to ask you, do you feel like you need to make yourself look good to be presentable before you go out? Do you feel like you have to dress a certain way? Do you feel like you are not beautiful the way that you are? Hi, Louise. Do you feel like you need to put on makeup, trendy clothes, stylish clothes to be seen? Do you feel like you need to dye your hair because you don't like its natural color? And if you do any of these things, please note that I am not putting anybody down. I do it too. We all do it. But I want to point out here that if you do this, the reason, whether you realize it consciously or subconsciously or not, it is because you feel as if you need to be different than how you actually are. I like me funky colors too. I know I, for one, tend to, when I'm going to work at my regular job, feel like I have to put on makeup, I have to do my hair. Of course I have to do my hair anyway because I work with food, so I actually have to have it back in a ponytail to keep it out of my face and out of other people's food. So for that I do actually have to do my hair, but I don't have to do my makeup. I just feel like I need to do my makeup. So, for the purposes of this video, I actually showed up dressed like this, with no makeup, with my hair still wet, since I just got out of a shower like 30 minutes ago. I actually intentionally washed off all of my makeup so I could show up without my makeup and present just me. And I'm in my jammy shirt and my jammy shorts, and I have my house coat sweater that I only wear around the house on. So I'm very much so just doing my thing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But as far as going to my regular job, my non-spiritual job, my prep cook job, I feel like I have to look a certain way. And this isn't because I feel like I'm not pretty, it's just because I feel like I'm prettier. So, in what way can you guys relate with not feeling as pretty as you could be? I'm just pausing here to let you guys digest this and give a little bit of feedback. So this not as pretty as we could be is ourselves not fully accepting us exactly the way that we are. And I want to say here, as clearly as I can, the way that you yourself, you personally, were created in this lifetime was from the divine. You were created by love, with love, to be exactly, precisely the way that you are. So, what I have actually told myself for several years now is, if I was good enough for God to have made me the way that I am, well, with His all-knowing and His divine power, you would think that that would be good enough for me too, and that that would be good enough for other people as well. I mean, really here, think about it. If you were made from the divine, from God, from source, from universe, from the creator, whatever word here that you want to use, it's for a reason. Yay! Hi, Dana. So, if you were good enough to be created the way that you were, according to God, why are you not good enough for yourself? Why do you feel like you are not good enough for other people? And I really want you to think about this one. If you were created specifically exactly the way that you are, don't you think it's for a reason? So, of course, some people don't believe in God, and if you don't, that's fine. But you are still put here on earth for a reason. And you were put here on earth exactly the way that you are. So if the universe seen fit to create you, the wondrous, magical, divine you, exactly, precisely the way that you are, how is it that you do not feel as if that's good enough? I'm just pausing here to let all of this soak up. So I wanted to pull some special cards today. And this is going to be the Butterfly Affirmations card. They're not tarot cards and they're not oracle cards. They're just wonderful affirmations. All of these cards have an affirmation on one side and then butterflies on the other side. So let me pull at least one card here and see what our affirmation is. I trust myself. I am wise and I am brave. So, in what way do you feel as if you are not brave enough to be your genuine, authentic self and to show other people who you really are? In what way do you not trust yourself the way that you are? And in what way do you not acknowledge your inner wisdom? And the butterfly that we get is this one right here. I just love these vivid pictures. This is the perfect one for me right now. I listen to the intuitive wisdom of my own feelings. I am guided from within. So what if I told you that it's actually not that difficult once you get in the habit of accepting yourself the way that you are? Now, if you have been in the habit of not loving yourself and not accepting yourself the way that you are, then this is probably going to be difficult for you at first. But once you get in the habit of it, if you aren't already in the habit of it, it gets easier and easier and easier. The reason that if you are not already in the habit of doing this, it's difficult for you is because if you are not in the habit of showing yourself understanding and compassion and love and support, then it is because you have been taught for a long time now that you did not deserve this. This was probably a result of how you were raised. This is probably how you were treated as a child, in a lot of cases at least. And this is a inner child / core belief that you now have about yourself. So the purpose of me doing this, besides me being divinely guided to it, is because I have been doing energy reports / tarot and oracle card readings for the daily energies. And I have been picking up that a lot of us are having to basically crawl out of our shell and put ourselves forward in a way that is quite scary scary for us. So I wanted to do this because I feel like I need to do my little part of assisting others with their own self-acceptance, with their own self-love and their own self-support. And in becoming more aware of how they are not fully accepting themselves. So, I feel another message coming through. But while I work on deciphering that one, I want to point out here that one of the main ways in which we can shift our thinking and shift our conscious or subconscious beliefs about ourselves is by becoming aware of how we are thinking about ourselves, becoming aware of how we talk about ourselves, and becoming aware of how we feel about ourselves. So I want to give you guys a challenge here. For one day, I want you to really pay close attention to how you're thinking, what you're saying, and how your emotions are towards yourself. And when you catch yourself putting yourself down in any way, thinking negatively about yourself in any way, feeling bad about yourself in any way, I want you to give yourself a mini timeout. I want you to do this to yourself. No, 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 no. And I want you to come up with a positive thought or positive affirmation that is the polar opposite of what you were just thinking or how you were just feeling or what you were just about to say or saying. So for instance, I kind of feel bad that I did not make notes for this live. So I could be putting myself down in my head about, gosh, I'm so stupid, I didn't make notes, I'm kind of an amateur at this, I don't really know what I'm doing, I should have made notes. So instead, when you catch yourself doing this, give yourself that little time out, recompose yourself, and tell yourself, but I am beautiful and divinely accepted for my faults. So this practice takes the negative, cancels it out, and replaces it with positive. So for one day, I want you guys to do this. And I want you guys to give me feedback, if possible, about how different that day was than every other day for you. I remember during our session I told you to do that, Amber. Did that help you? When you were struggling with your core belief that you had? It has been very helpful for me. And I am so glad that you could join me, Dana. And this is absolutely wonderful. And so is this picture. This is the most common butterfly in this area. I see it all the time, or at least I used to. Life does not have to be perfect in order for me to choose happiness. Today, I choose happiness. So I think this is the divine guiding me to mention that so many of us feel as if we are not good enough the way that we are because we have this flaw or that flaw or blah 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 blah. And life, well, let's just be honest here. Life is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but in life there is always going to be some reason for us to not feel good enough. For us to not feel as if we did enough. But it's up to us whether or not we fall into this trap. Whether or not we allow this false belief to get the better of us time after time after time. I told somebody not that long ago when he said that his spiritual journey was causing him to feel as if he needed to hold on to his sanity. I told him, holding on to your sanity is overrated. Just be crazy. Just accept yourself as nuts. You'll be so much better off. Because really, the word nuts, the word crazy, the word imperfection is all words that we have picked up from other people, from society, from pressures of the society. They don't really exist. Perfect also does not exist. How about we just be beautifully and gloriously faulted exactly as we are? How about instead of trying to feel as if we have to be perfect, we realize that we're never going to be perfect and we just give it up already. How about instead of allowing other people to label us as crazy, eccentric, out there, weird, or whatever other word that you can think of, how about we just embrace this? How about we just let our freak flag fly? Yeah, I'm crazy. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I've been crazy my whole life. I plan on staying crazy for the rest of my whole life. I don't really care if you call me crazy. I consider it a compliment. I've even been called psycho. I consider it a compliment. Awkward, nerdy, yes, those are good too. So what if I pointed out here all of these words do not actually exist? The reason that they do not exist is because the only reason that they came about at all was because of one person's personal perspective on everybody else around them. One person can be completely normal to somebody, and then to somebody else, they can be nerdy. To one person, you can be psycho, you can be crazy. To another person, you can be perfectly normal. So these words do not actually exist. Yay! Hi, Tammy! So how about we just cancel out all of these stupid labels and stop calling each other anything? How about we put away our need for labeling people as anything? Exactly, they don't define us. We are ever changing, ever growing, ever evolving beings of love and of light. Nothing defines us. One thing might fit us in one moment, and in the next moment we could be the polar opposite of it. As we grow, as we change, as our moods change, as the day changes, as our energy shifts, as we learn, as we grow, as we evolve, so today on Free Flow Monday, I want you, yes you, to accept yourself exactly the way that you are. Let us send love and light and nurturing and understanding and compassion to all of these parts of us that we don't feel are good enough. Let us embrace these parts of us that we feel are not good enough. Let us accept ourselves exactly the way that we are. we are imperfectly perfect at all times. Let us hold on to the knowledge and the understanding that we have done the best with what we had. And hang on to the understanding that we are not meant to be perfect. That it's okay to not be perfect. And now let us give ourselves a big hug and hug all of these aspects of ourselves that we don't particularly like or that we feel bad about. And let us fully understand, possibly for the first time, that we do not need to be perfect. That we are not nerdy, geeky, dorky, ugly, mean, bitchy even. That we are not awkward. That we are beautiful. And that even in the times in which we failed doing something to the best of our ability, let us really hold on to this knowledge that our heart was in the right place, that we tried the best that we could with what we had to work with. I know a lot of the times we end up feeling bad about how we didn't do something quite right, or how we knew that we could have done better at XYZ. And we put ourselves down about this. In these moments, I want you to really firmly believe that you did what you did in the way that you did for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidences. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as not good enough. And in these moments when you catch yourself putting yourself down for having done something wrong or not in the right way or not well enough, I want you to do the same timeout thing and replace the negative with something positive. I want you to tell yourself, but I tried my best, and I understand that I cannot always be on the top of my game. Sometimes I fail. I'm human. That's okay. And because I find it highly unlikely that anybody intentionally did something that they feel bad about, I also want you to tell yourself, but in that moment, my heart was in the right place. And what I have found particularly helpful is doing the Ho'oponopono. And if you've never heard of it, it's 4 really potent, to the point sentences that you say all in a row in a specific order. You can either gear them towards yourself, which is what I want you to do for the purposes of this live, or you can aim them towards somebody else. So the 4 sentences are, in this specific order: I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So I want you to right now, as you're watching this either live or on the replay, close your eyes. Put both hands like this over your heart. And I want you to repeat after me. And aim this towards yourself. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Just right there actually made me start crying. Wow, that I did not expect. Apparently, a part of me really needed that. I'm still crying. And now my nose is running. Oh. So let's do this again, because apparently we both really need it, Dana. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Yes, exactly, Amber. This is so very healing. The part that's making me cry is just feeling this love and compassion and understanding coming into me from myself. So I also want to, I'll use this one. This is one of my new decks, Amber. Remember that dream that you had? The fairies? This is one of my new decks that showed up in my mailbox just a couple of days ago. And it is Magical Messages from the Fairy Oracle cards. So I want to pull one or two cards here for a little bit more divine guidance. Ooh, that's perfect. Oh my gosh. I'll show you this here in just a second. Okay, so we got, whom do you need to forgive? As you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes come true. So for the purposes of this live, in what way do you need to forgive yourself? In what way do you need to quit putting yourself down? To not feel as if you were good enough. And then we got the flower power. Spend time with flowers and flower essences to increase your personal healing power. So I am going to read more about the flower power card. This card signifies that you will benefit from the balancing and healing properties of flowers. Spend time in a garden or even in a florist shop, and surround your home with fresh flowers. As you breathe in the fragrances, feel their magical healing abilities bathing every cell of your body. The fairies also suggest that you buy a bottle or two of pure flower essences, which are available at most health food stores. And my nose is still running. Oil is not actually the same thing as flower essences. I actually do have some flower essences. There's a big difference between flower essences and essential oils, just FYI. But I also have some lavender essential oil. Use rose oil to open your heart to love, or sprinkle lavender oil on your pillows and sheets to calm your nerves. Additional meanings for this card are: use flower essences in your healing work with others, study aromatherapy, make sachets or dried lavender eye pillows, plant a flower garden, or send a loved one some flowers. I actually have some flower essences that I have not even been using. I bought them from my former foot zonologist. When she started selling them, like, I want to say 2-ish years ago. And she had me do a muscle test to see which specific essences I needed, and then she ordered it for me, so I have like this special custom-made blend just for me. Cost a little bit of a pretty penny, but it was totally worth it. That was the beginning of my spiritual awakening. For most of my life, I have been more or less awake, but starting between the years of 34 and 30, I want to say 3, I had pretty much gotten absorbed by life. No, it really doesn't have to be a special occasion. I mean, like, your husband doesn't need a special occasion to bring home flowers for you, does he? It's not like you would think it was weird if he did, would you? I will send you the link, Dana, or I will end up making a comment or addition, whatever, to this feed for the official website that does the flower essences. I can't think of what it is right now, but I would have to look it up, and I will either... Actually, I'll probably just add it to the description box of this live feed and add it as a comment in this feed. Well, I think my hour's up, but I could still keep talking if I'm not... I don't know if anybody had this next time slot or anything. I actually just had this idea that I wanted to mention while I'm still on here. Or this thought or realization, whatever you want to call it, that just came through for me. A lot of us, especially women, tend to think, feel, behave, act, and react as if we are in some way a victim of something. And in this way, we make other people responsible for how we are feeling, how we are thinking, how we are acting and reacting. So, for instance, you said this, so I'm going to tell you that. Or you did that, so now I'm going to, fill in the blank. It just all kind of snowballs. So how about we realize, for the purposes of this selfies topic, how about we realize that we ourselves are responsible, are in fact the sole person responsible for how we think, how we feel, how we behave, how we react, and how we act. How about we assume full and total responsibility for ourselves? And not just that, but also, how about we assume full and total responsibility for the energy of other people that we allow into our life? So, for instance, if you view yourself as a victim of some kind, and you end up in a relationship with a narcissistic, selfish person, does this relationship that you find yourself in become their fault for allowing you into their life, or does it become your fault for you allowing them into your life? If somebody is not treating you well, is it their fault for not treating you well, or is it your fault for allowing it? If somebody reacts to you badly, are you justified in reacting badly to them and blaming them for your bad behavior? As the famous saying goes, two wrongs do not make a right. So, women in particular have been viewed by society for a lot of years now as I want to say the damsel in distress, who needs to be rescued, who is not able to take care of herself, who was victimized. But these do not define us. Revenge. No, there's no exception there, unfortunately, for some people. I suppose there are a few really bad apples out there who a lot of people would not miss if they disappeared, never to be heard or seen from again. But would you really want that on your conscience? I think not. I have heard numerous stories about somebody who did something really horrible and got away with it. But they had to live with this horrible guilt for all of their life. And on their deathbed, they ended up confessing because they didn't want to go into the afterlife with this on their conscience. I don't know about you, but I personally would rather be having a much more pleasant conversation on my deathbed. Yes, everybody has their own karma, and it is totally up to you as far as whether or not you want to accept their karma into your life. My nose is still running a little bit. Goodness. Whew. And I have cat hair all over my sleeves due to my shedding like a crazy cat. So I'm rolling up my sleeves a little bit. At least the inside of my sleeves are not terribly hairy. So, there's this other thing that I wanted to bring up, but it came to my mind and then flew away. Oh yes, now I remember. Had to think about that for a minute. We are fully 100% responsible for the energy of other people that we allow into our lives. We are fully and 100% responsible for other people's karma, problems, circumstances, and situations that we allow into our lives. But my point with this, where I'm going with this, is that most people would tell you that this means you cannot have this person in your life. And I want to make it absolutely clear here that that is not necessarily the case. You can pick and choose here. You can make it very clear with somebody, I don't like that behavior that you do, so when you're in my house, please do not do it. You don't have to say, I don't like that behavior of yours that you do, so I don't want to talk to you anymore. This isn't the booting people out of your life thing. This is the making other people aware of the impact that they have on you and in your life. And making it clear to them that you don't like this XYZ thing that they do. Like, just for instance, off the top of my head here, if somebody was an alcoholic and they wanted to come over to my house and hang out with me, I would be okay with that. But I would not be okay with them coming over to my house and getting shit-faced drunk. If somebody was a druggie and they wanted to come hang out with me, I would be okay with that as long as they don't do drugs in front of me or around me while they are in my house. That is an excellent question, Dana. And say you have said these things to them and they still continue to do it. Well, in this situation, you have to sit them down again and you have to explain to them, I have expressed how I feel about this. You know I don't like this. Please do not do it. If you continue to do it, I will disinvite you into my place. In fact, I just had this conversation yesterday with my twin flame. Because he is very much in this mode these days where he wants to come over and enjoy the I don't know how to put it exactly, because you guys are not twin flames. Well, most of you aren't anyway. But I wanted to bring to his attention that he comes over here when he's feeling really stressed out because of that situation or this mood or whatever, and he wants to enjoy the uplifting nature of how it is whenever the two of us are together. Which is fine, I like that. But he's at this point right now where he wants to, and he thinks it's perfectly okay to come into my place, carry his bad mood with him, and then sit here and bitch about how this happened and that happened and blah 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 blah. I'm not the type of person that puts up with this from anybody. Not even him. If you want to sit down with me and talk about all the problems of your life, I'm going to give you solutions for these problems. That's just how I am. I am not the one that's the shoulder to cry on person. I'm the let's get this thing in gear, let's fix your life, let's go person. So he wants to come over here, pick up on my uplifting energy, and talk about how all of his problems are getting him down, how he's stressed out, blah 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 blah. And he thinks it's perfectly okay to do so. He does not see that it's detrimental to me, that it's stressful for me, that my house is my sanctuary, that I don't want that kind of negativity in my house. He doesn't get that. So yesterday I sat him down and I explained to him, well, I didn't sit him down, I can only imagine he was sitting, I have no idea. It was technically through texting because we haven't been able to see each other to actually talk about this face to face yet. So we were texting about it and I told him, my apartment is my sanctuary. This is where I go. Or this is not just where I live, this is where I go to get away from the world. This is where I go to meditate, to connect with the divine, to connect with the angels. This is my uplifting sanctuary. If you want an uplifting sanctuary, feel free to come over. But do not take that negative energy with you. I don't want it here. So, to answer your question, Dana, if somebody continues to do this, and you have told them more than a handful of times in a really clear and precise manner that you do not appreciate it and that you do not want this to be around you, and they aren't listening, then it's because they think that you will accept them anyway. It's that they don't feel like you have put down your foot well enough. So they aren't listening to you. It's basically like a child who's testing your patience. They know that you said they weren't allowed to do it, but they don't really believe you, so they're going to try it anyway. So, if they are going to act like a child, treat them like a child. If you have sat them down and you have discussed this with them upon several different occasions, tell them, you know what? You are now in timeout. You are disinvited to come over. I have told you repeatedly that I don't like XYZ, and you keep doing XYZ in my place. I don't appreciate it. Please do not do that anymore. Do not come over. If you are going to do that, I do not want you here. So it's up to you, Dana. I know you have a daughter, so how many chances does she get to test your patience? Well, good. You put your foot down and he's finally getting the picture. If he decides that he would rather not get together with you because you don't accept him doing XYZ, and he cannot seem to not do XYZ around you, then that's his loss. And sometimes that's the best thing, just being friends with somebody from a distance. I have family members that I almost never see. I have 2 sisters that I never talk to. One of them actually blocked me on Facebook because of something that I'm not going to get into now. So I have friends, I have family members, I have people that I know who I will not have on my Facebook, who I will not associate with. I don't hate them. I don't wish them any ill will. But I know where my boundaries are and I know where their boundaries are. So we are just coexisting in this grand planet together. And that's okay. As the wonderful saying goes, you can't please everybody all the time. You just have to be fully responsible for you. You have to do you. You have to do what's best for you. And if other people in your life want to try to disrespect you, it's your responsibility to put your foot down and be firm with them. And if you can't get along with everybody all the time, that's okay. Honestly, I don't even want to try to get along with everybody all the time. I just want to be me, and I want to be accepted for who I am. And I want to accept other people for who they are. And if this means that we cannot be friendly together or hang out, then so be it. I accept them for who they are from a distance, as that is what's best for me and that is what's best for them. And honestly, as we are on this ascension journey, as we are on our spiritual journey, we will meet more and more people that we just do not vibe with. And that's okay. Because as we ascend, we are changing our energy, we are changing our internal vibration, and our internal vibration in turn changes the energy that we put out into the world. When this changes, a lot of the people that we used to resonate with no longer resonate with us. And we no longer resonate with them. So, you know how in some stories of your life, you meet somebody and you really get along. You thought maybe they were the one, or you guys like really hit it off and you were amazing friends, and then you just kind of like wonk, wonk, wonk. You went downhill from there. That's because you ascended yourself on your spiritual journey, You changed your vibration and you no longer resonated with them. That's okay. This is natural. Not everybody that you meet throughout your whole entire life is meant to stay with you. In fact, most people that you meet in your lifetime are only meant to do this one little thing or these couple little things in your life, and then you're meant to part ways and enjoy the rest of your life separately. The myth that a lot of people have is this happily ever after fairy tale. Like you meet somebody and you really hit it off and the vibe between you and them is glorious and wonderful and you're supposed to spend happily ever after together. That's not really how the world works. That's not how the law of attraction works. So there are so many people out there I know of, that I've seen, that I've heard about, who feel as if they're a failure of some kind because they can't seem to have a long-term relationship, because they have this relationship and then this one and the next one and blah 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 blah. This is all okay. In fact, this is how it's meant to be. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find somebody that you really connect with on all levels and get married and stay married, because you can. I'm just saying that not every single person out there that you really vibe with, that you really connect with, is meant to stay in your life. And when they leave your life, however it is that they leave your life, it's okay. Not every single relationship has this forever stamp on it. Now, I, for one, I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, have been in one marriage and about 6 different relationships before and after that. My last one before I met my twin flame, or actually the guy I was with when I met my twin flame, he and I were in a very dysfunctional relationship. But I did not want to let go of the relationship because I felt as if having yet another failed relationship under my belt was depressing. Was like a sign of failure for myself. So I hung on to this relationship for as long as I could. Even though most of the time it felt more like trying to fit a square cube in a round hole. Alright, Amber. I think I'm going to wrap it up here in just a little bit anyway. At some point in time I do have to do my live reading on my page. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for this opportunity. So anyway, I held on to this relationship even though I knew that it wasn't meant to work out, because I felt as if giving up or quitting on this relationship was yet another failure under my belt that I just could not deal with. So when it finally ended, because he decided to end it, honestly, all I felt was just relief at finally not having to feel like I needed to fix anything between us. All I felt was like, oh my gosh, finally, whew! So I just want to point out here that there's this huge myth about how relationships are supposed to work out 100% of the time. And let's just say about 99% of the time they actually are not even meant to. In fact, I have this wonderful quote by Oscar Wilde, who said apparently I can't talk all of a sudden, who said they spoil every romance by trying to make it last forever. So how can we change this into accepting that it's okay that you don't vibe with certain people anymore? That it's okay that they leave your life. That it's okay that the relationship is dysfunctional and that you end it. And that you set healthy boundaries for yourself. This doesn't make you a failure. This makes you a wise, beautiful, and smart woman or man. This applies to men as well, but I think most women can relate to it a little bit more. So I think I am going to go, and then I am going to hop on my business page and do my daily energy reading. So the link to my business page is in this description box for this live. So if you want to, just click that link. I will see you in about 5 minutes. Bye for now.